Welcome to Show Me the Nuggets. I'm Eduardo Trinidad from the team at Digital Triggers. Today, we'll be taking a break from our regular program and feature the top takeaways from the best episodes of the second half of the year. We've had a string of amazing guests come on the show and give tons of value. No doubt, it was a tough task to narrow it down to just 5. But we feel that what we have in store for you in this episode is definitely worth another listen. Coming up next, we've got Chris Dreyer, Dan Ray, Alex Charfen, Susan McVea, Matt McWilliams, and of course, the host of the show, Joe Troyer. Enjoy.
Let's talk about local SEO. So you want to rank in the map pack. I'm not even gonna go down the DBA, business name, keyword in the name. We all know that works, kind of like EMDs in the past, and they'll fix that eventually. Might take a while, but the biggest thing that I've kind of come to a realization lately about is, again, it's Google's job to filter out crap. So if you have the opportunity to do a directory and it's thin, and I'm talking about all, and this kind of applies to link building too. Gone are the days where you just go guest post on a DR90 that's a 200-word article and think that link's going to pass a lot of page authority. It's just not. Even the content you produce on external sites need to provide high quality value because it's Google's job to filter those out. And if they're filtered out, they're not going to pass authority. So the biggest thing I could tell you is make everything robust. I know that's more time consuming, but more images, video, audio, and that really helps with local SEO.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. I think that's probably counterintuitive to most people. It's kind of the churn and burn for most people. Make the content as thin as possible, as cheap as possible, as fast as possible, just to get out the door. And they view it more as a, hey, I did the activity, I got it done, and I did it as fast as possible and cheap as possible.
Yeah, Joe, not only that, there's only so many high quality local directories. Like, why would you make that thin and then go on to another low quality directory? Take your Yelps and your Google My Business and your Apple Maps and all those sites and just make them beefy, and that'd be a huge advantage.
People do not spend enough time prospecting. Like, the reason that your link rate is probably 1 in 1,000 is because your prospects are shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can send the exact same guest post template to the right prospects, and you'll get way smaller numbers. So I think if people spend 80% of their time prospecting and 20% on outreach, they do way better. But really, like, this is what I do not understand, right? So many people, I've sold like 2,000 copies of my link building system, and yet nobody's building links. So it's like, are you just not following it? Like, the biggest issue, I think, is people don't do the absolute basics. You do the basics well and consistently, and you're way better than most of the people.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals. It always comes back to the fundamentals. So many people skip the fundamentals and they just keep grabbing the newest, latest, greatest, whatever whiz bag. And then they look up 12 months, 18 months, 24 months later and go, holy shit, like I've changed my SOPs or lack thereof every month because I've been focused on kind of what's hot, what's sexy instead of what matters.
Yeah,
I
give out a free, like, my link building system's like 25 types of links or something like that. I give a free one that's guest posts and resource page links because they're low value links really, but people want them a lot. So essentially, you can go and do exactly what I do for free just by looking at a page on my site, right? And the amount of people who they view it and then show me what they're doing and why it isn't working. And all I do is I look at them straight away and say, why did you miss that step? Or why did you change that? Oh, I thought it'd be better. Don't fucking think. I'm giving you a system.
I love that. Don't fucking think. Yeah, I mean, a really wise friend of mine has always told me, always been the guy tapping me on the shoulder, like, is that new business 7 figures yet? No. Then why are you not just imitating? Like, swipe, deploy, copy. Like, you should not be innovating at all, right? Like, until you get to 7 figures, you should just be completely like just copying. Take what works. Don't innovate. Like follow, pay for somebody's coaching, but just do exactly what they do. Don't make any iteration.
Yeah, here's something that you just expressed, Joe, but I want to put a statement to it. The world can be in crisis and you can be in momentum. Like, don't ever forget that. Anyone who's listening, don't forget, like, the world can be in crisis. It almost always is, but you can be in momentum. In 2007, 8, 9, things got weird for Katie and I. The whole world was in this foreclosure crisis. People were losing their jobs. Companies were going bankrupt around us. I remember I had this really amazing Porsche delivered one day. It's still in my garage. It's like a totally modified, completely decked out, like street legal race car. And I remember it being like backed off of the car carrier when it was delivered to our office, and it was delivered right to the front of the office. And as it was delivered, the company on the second floor of us was clearing out their building and going bankrupt. And so here I am having a luxury car dropped off. And I mean, it was such a weird feeling. Literally, people were walking around my car with boxes, like they had just been terminated and just been let go. And it was this juxtaposition where I felt like, for a second, I felt guilty. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. That is an inappropriate emotion to feel. That is not the right way to feel right now. At the same time that Porsche was being delivered, Katie and I were donating tens of thousands of dollars to charity. We were helping a ton of people. We were helping the foreclosure crisis recover. I mean, I earned that Porsche. Porsche. I wrote a check for it. There's no payments on it or anything. So I had to reframe in that moment that, hey, the world can be in crisis and we owe it to ourselves. We need to earn the momentum we have. And so don't ever forget that if the world's in crisis, your job as an entrepreneur is to stay in momentum.
The core foundation for sales is mindset. Like, if you can't believe in yourself, if you can't believe in your product, if you can't believe your client can do the thing that you just sold them to do, you're not going to, it really doesn't, right? And it's the same thing, because I mean, sales is the foundation for your business, because without it, you don't have money coming through the door. You don't have clients that you can help. And more importantly, I know that the clients that I help want to get results. They don't want to crank out sales, right? I can teach anybody how to just sell and sell and sell. But if you can't deliver the goods, you're not going to be able to keep a sustainable business. And so the clients that I work with, they are all highly experts in the skills that they have. Beyond that, they are decisive. They make decisions quickly. And as a result, they take action quickly. Now, this is not to say, because there is a percentage of the population that does need to think about it, right? Like, so if you're process driven and you really need to just go back and think through things, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that don't sit in it, that they don't allow themselves to dwell and look at, okay, paralysis analysis, I'm going to review 100 different million ways, when really it doesn't really matter. Like, just pick one. Just pick one and go, because you are smart enough and resilient enough that if it's not quite right, we can adjust, right? We can just, you're on the wrong road here. Maybe we need to take the country road for a little bit, and then we're going to go back on the highway and do a slight detour. And the quicker we can make decisions together on the fly, the better. And so as a result, they see everything as a learning or a growth opportunity. And that's because they have a mindset that's geared towards abundance and growth, right? So they don't look at other people's successes as, oh my gosh, like, why them? Why not me? And that means I can't do it. They cheer other people on and go, that's amazing that person can do it, because it means that I can do it too. And maybe I can even do it faster. I can do it better. Yep. Maybe I can find a simpler way. And so for me, those are like the four main things that, when I think back to the greatest success factors that have really influenced the clients that were able to go far and quickly, those would be it. Yeah, the key difference makers.
Yeah, number one is, where do you find affiliates? You got it. In the 80-20 is, you focus on 3 areas. If you have customers, start with them. Okay. And in most industries, again, some of what I'm going to focus on 3 places to find affiliates. We have a whole free report we'll talk about later where there's 15 places, but some of these don't apply to everyone. You know, like I tell people all the time, maybe you should work with nonprofits. Nonprofits make good affiliates. And they're like, well, that doesn't work in my industry. Okay, well, what about one of the other 14 places? But number one, start with your customers. If you have customers,
turn them into affiliates. This particularly works really well with retail products, digital courses, services. I mean, most things. There are a few examples where it might not work as well. Can't think of any, but that's number one. Number two, look at your competitors' affiliates and go steal them. Like literally, you go to this website. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Google. You go to Google, you type in the name of your biggest competitors, maybe add the word affiliate or partner or commission. Here's the reason: they should be disclosing that they're an affiliate when they promote them. We won't get into that, but that's why we type those extra words in. If you're in a niche where, if you're in a niche where your biggest competitor is Walmart, what I just said only works if you add the word affiliate, because Walmart's too ubiquitous. Like Walmart's mentioned a million times in the news every day. If you're in a niche where, let's say you're in the digital course niche and your biggest competitor is, such and such, you can probably just type in the name of the course and 8 out of 10 results will be an affiliate, so just kind of depends on how popular. So focus on literally going and siphoning off, some of your partners or your biggest competitors' affiliates. That's what I did. And that is the quickest way to get your first 5 to 10, medium to small sized affiliates that are going to make you anywhere from a few hundred to a few thousand. Again, we're talking about the 80-20, how do we go quick? How do we just get it proof of concept? And there's some, there's a certain email that we send. There's a very specific structure to this email, which we'll get into, but this initial reach out, you want it to be super short. And we've got a template in that report. But so number one, your customers. Number two, your competition's affiliates. And then number three are people who are what you might consider to be competitors. But you find a way to be co-opetition, not competition.
Thanks for tuning in to Show Me the Nuggets. If you've been enjoying the podcast and find our content helpful, please visit our Apple Podcast page, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a review. Joe and the whole team have been working hard to bring more value to the show. Your feedback will go a long way in helping us make the show better and reach a wider audience.